What is up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of the Talk of the Ring show. If you do not know who I am, then that means you are not subscribed. And if you are not subscribed, you're going to be missing so many great episodes. So just hit the subscribe button. It's right there. Just do it. It doesn't cost you nothing. So just go ahead. Just do it. But today we have none other than Sammi Chaos.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm living the dream.
I hear you. Yes.
So obviously, like my dad. Well, let me start. Rembrandt trains with you, right?
Yes.
And Rembrandt is my favorite person in the world. So I was like, I gotta steal some of the students from your training place.
He's great. We love him.
Yeah, he's definitely progressed a lot. I mean, he's supposed to be a heel, but now he's like a face. And I tell him all the time, like, I don't like this. You gotta go back to being a heel. I can't
have to
do
boo
this.
you. Make me boo you.
Exactly. Like,
Yep.
he comes out now and the crowd loves him. I'm like, it's all because of me. Like, he was so hated. I cheered him and now everyone loves him. I'm like, no, you just gotta
They're all
go.
following you. They're following you. You're the example.
Right? So my dad's in the chat. He goes to say he's chanting your name because that's what he does.
Yes.
And he said, I found her for you. Yes, my dad definitely helps. I was like, well, she trains with Rembrandt and Cosmic, and they're like my favorite people. So
yes. He's taking all the credit.
He's like, yeah, I did that.
He's like, this is all me.
Right. So I always start off with who or what got you into wrestling?
So this is all my older brother's fault. I'm an Attitude Era baby. So it was literally just, I watched him watch wrestling and I was like, well, I want to be cool too. So literally I would just sit down with my brother and we would watch, The Rock and Stone Cold and, the whole gang. And, I was like the only girl in school watching wrestling. So that was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it all started. Just, being kids and watching wrestling. So.
No, I definitely get that. Cause like when I do homeschooling now, but when I was in public school, I would always talk about it. They'll be like, you do what? You go to where? I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's a different type of love.
Yes, exactly. Because I would talk about it and everyone's like, what are you even talking about? And yeah,
exactly.
And I'm like, never mind.
Exactly. Like I tell my friends now, they still don't get it. But I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna tell you how wrestling went, but you don't have to say anything because I know you don't get it.
Right. Just smile, nod, pretend that you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So if people don't know, are you more of a baby face or a heel?
So I'm a heel, but people cheer me. So exactly. Like your dad was just cheering me. Stop that. Stop all that. Yeah, so I'm a heel and I do a lot of, I'm supposed to be mean and I do mean things and people cheer me anyway. And I'm like, what are y'all on? Like, I'm the bad guy up here. Like, stop it. But yeah, I'm supposed to be a big scary monster. So.
I mean, and I think that depends on the person's personality. Like also like your gear. If like with Rembrandt, everyone hated him, and like I don't know. It's just I was like, let me just cheer you guys on and see what happens. And it's like, well, the tables turn, and I'm like, I guess it's just how your style is in the ring and your gear.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people like to cheer heels. Now it's like, it's cool to hate the bad guy now. So it's like, all right.
Yeah, because like you get that feud whenever you cheer them, they're like, shut up. Like, I don't need that. Or I don't need you.
Like, it's don't cheer for me. I hate you.
Exactly. Like, I'm just going to keep feeding into it.
I know. It's no use.
So if people don't know, who trains you? Or where do you train at?
So I train out of the Fallout Shelter in Brooklyn, New York. And we have many trainers there. So it's Masha Slamovich, who is at Impact. It's Mike Law, Jorge Santi, Steve Pena. We have Ahmed. Rembrandt was actually helping out a couple of nights ago. So he was teaching us some cool stuff. But yeah, those are the main guys.
No, that's cool. So how long would you say like you trained before you got a real match in front of a big crowd or a crowd in general?
Um, I was training about maybe 8 months before I got a match. My very first match, we had a student show, so that was my very first time in front of a crowd, and you could see it all over my face that it was the first time in front of a crowd. I was scared out of my mind. But yeah, it was probably a good 8 months before my first match. Yeah.
I mean, that's better because some people like train for like 2 years before. So
yeah. And you know, I don't knock that because it's like you want to be like as prepared as possible.
Yeah, it is like a comfort thing. Like if you're not comfortable with being there or being performing, then you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah, and you want to be the most confident because I mean you're in there handling people's bodies, so you want to be safe and all that. Yeah. So you want to protect each other.
No, most definitely. Like I say that all the time. I give it to you guys. Like when I was 6, I wanted to be a wrestler, but now getting older, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna be a manager for like one of you guys, and you can just do the work.
Yeah. You guys do all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'll stay on the sidelines while you do what you gotta do.
Listen, I don't blame you. Because the way my body feels, I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I doing?
I get it.
Yeah.
And like it's cool like that you mentioned also about the student shows because like they're doing that a lot more at a company up here in Pennsylvania, Battlefield Pro Wrestling. And like it's cool because those students might not be comfortable with like your big show, so you put them on that and it gets them like warmed up and prepared.
Yeah.
I honestly
you get prepared for other crowds, and you know you kind of at least for us, like with the student shows, it's a lot of us wrestling like the other students, and it's not outside people, so you kind of it's almost like training wheels before you just let go.
No, yeah, and like it's also cool like as fans and as like just people going to like the student shows and the big shows because like you can see the wrestler progress from like the student shows, and then like once they get action on that, you're like, oh my God, I remember you when you were just a baby.
I know, it's like having extended family come up to you and being like, I remember you when you were this high. It's funny because I've had people come up to me where they're like, I remember like your first match and like you've come so far, and I'm like, thank you. So it's really awesome. It's really cool to see other students progress too. So it's like, I remember when you did this, and it's like you got so much better. It's just a really cool thing to see.
No, yeah. Like there's a lot of times I'll point out to a wrestler like, oh my God, remember when you did that? And they were like, I did that? I was like, yeah, you did.
It's like, yeah, I'm here to remind you that you did that.
Yeah, I always remember. I have a whole book of like, okay, they did this, so let me embarrass them with that.
Yes. Yeah. Never let us live anything down. No.
Never.
That's a true heel. That's a true heel.
So do you think being a heel is easier than being a face, or like is one easier than the other?
You know, I guess it depends on the person what comes more naturally. I've always been kind of what's the word? A sarcastic, just like
badass.
Yeah. You know what? Those are your words. Absolutely.
Bad bitch.
But yeah, so it kind of comes more naturally. I mean, I hear though that being a baby face is a lot harder. Because it's just you got to win that crowd, and for me, it's just like I'm getting you to boo me, and I'm just but yeah. I mean, I think Chris Jericho was the one that said it. It was like the easiest gimmick or character to play is it's just you, just times a million, and that's pretty much what I do. And apparently, it comes out as a heel, so we love it.
No, yeah, and I think that also like plays on your character, your persona, and your personality, even outside of wrestling. Like me, I would say on here and like in general, I'm a baby face. I'm always giving presents. So like if I became a manager, there's a manager also out here. His name is Mr. Ruda, and he's a heel. And for me, if I was screaming at little kids, I'd be like crying at the same time. Be like, I'm sorry, come here, just give me a hug.
I apologize. Oh my God.
Like, I didn't mean that. It just came out.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
yeah.
I think it depends on the personality. If it fits you, go for it. But me, I can't do it.
It won't be me. It won't be me.
And if they tell me, okay, you got to be a heel for this, I'm like, I got to go home. I can't do that.
I'm going to be sick that day. I don't.
Yeah, I got to cough.
Exactly.
So what would you say is your favorite part about wrestling?
My
Anything.
favorite part. Anything.
Screaming at children.
Screaming at little babies. I just love the performance of it all. Like I was never, I don't want to say I was never a theater kid in school, but like here and there, but it's definitely a performance art, and it's really fun to watch other people reacting to your performance. And that's a really cool thing. And also obviously, you know, body slamming people is like really great.
Yeah.
But watching people react to the story that we tell and seeing if they're actually enjoying it and all that, that's a lot of fun. That's probably my favorite part.
Most definitely. And like I said, I got involved. Well, my dad, he got me into the indie shows when I was 6, and I'm 16 now. So I've been going for 10 years, and it's like,
You're
love
a
the story. Yeah. But it's definitely like interesting, like you just said, like the storylines, like you see the difference. And like now there's so many different wrestling companies. There's always a show like every weekend. So if you can't go to one, go to another.
I know. You can't get away from it. So because I know when I was growing up, we didn't know about like indie wrestling, like that. It wasn't even a thing to us. It was all just, you know, WWF at the time. But but when I got introduced to like indies and Japan and all that, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I've been surrounded by wrestling my whole life and I didn't even know it. Like, that's awesome.
Like I've always watched like WWE, and I went to like a couple of those shows, but I'm like, it's not my thing. I like when my dad told me that they had like independent indie scenes, I was like, that's a thing? Like,
I know.
I could talk to them? Like, what?
Right. Yeah. It's a completely different experience.
No, and it's definitely cool. Like I said, watching the wrestler grow as well, like not just the wrestler, but the brand, like the company.
Oh, so. Yeah. You see everything evolve.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Like you said, I'm a bad bitch in it. I'm a veteran.
You legit, like you've got 10 years in this business.
Yeah. Nobody can even say anything.
No. You should start putting that on shirts and selling it as merch. Like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So my dad's in the chat. He goes, it says, because you're awesome, Sammy. And then he's chanting your name. She said not to chant her.
Boo me.
And
Boo
then we have
me.
Anthony Blackwell in the chat. He said, hey, kiddo. Hello. How are you? And then Anthony Blackwell goes and says, super proud of Harley. You are finding your flow and getting in the zone with your interview style. Elbow cough.
Yes.
Getting used to it little by little.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, because I was watching the interview you did with Cosmic and a couple of your other ones, and same for you. Like, you're growing, and that's awesome. I love to see it. We love to see it.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we said your favorite part. Now switching it up, what would you say is the hardest part?
The hardest part. I guess physically, definitely. Yeah, so it's a lot of cardio. And you know, I played sports like my entire life. I come from a big like basketball family. So I played basketball well into college, and I could run up and down a court for 2 hours, no problem. My first time in a wrestling ring, I was like, what, y'all do this? Like, it's insane. They're like, yeah, this is unlike any cardio or exercise like you'll ever do in your life. It's just a completely different breathing, and it's like, there's so much to remember. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna Mm-hmm. The cardio part.
Yeah. And like, I'm not a sports girl. Like, I'm fit, but I don't do the sports. So like, if I
Mm-hmm.
had to take a bump, I'll be like, if I become a manager, I am taking 1 or 2 bumps in my entire career, and that's it.
Yes, and you gotta make them good. You gotta make them count.
Yeah.
Make them count.
Yeah. So if a younger fan came up to you and was like, I want to do exactly what you're doing, what advice would you give them?
Ooh, start young. Definitely start young. As a veteran. But I was kind of late in the game when I don't want to say discovered, but like when I was always watching wrestling, it was never a thought in my mind that I could actually go and pursue it. It was always like, oh, like I wouldn't even know where to begin. So I started out a little later than a lot of people, but I wish I started immediately.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So I would just say find a really good school to go to, and just keep at it. It's it's a journey. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm. And even if let's say it's a 5-year-old, I'd say, okay, you're not old enough yet, but continue going to the shows, become a fan for a while. And then once you come like your teenage years, if that's still something you want to do, start training. And then once you turn 18, go ahead. There you go. You're set. So
yeah, 100%. Just stick with it. Like it's with anything in life. There's ups and downs, and like, there's no straight like to the finish line.
Yeah.
But if you stick with it and you just like power through it, it's a lot of fun.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, like 6-year-old me had my whole life set. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the shows. I'm gonna start training. And I'm not even gonna go to college. I'm just gonna become a wrestler. And now I'm like, no.
No.
School
no.
And then do it.
Yes. You could even do both, but you get that piece of paper. Let's do this.
Yeah, right. Even though it's a paper, it still means a lot.
Exactly. It means a lot.
So my dad goes and says, "There's nothing wrong with being fluffy. LOL, I'm fluffy."
No, absolutely.
Sammy! Yay!
Oh my goodness.
Sammy, I'm not gonna boo you. Yay!
That's crazy.
She said that's crazy. Although he's there, but also over here it says, "I'm about to make her laugh since she wants me to boo her."
Do you have a baby I could yell at? That's crazy. How dare you?
Let me get my brother. Dylan.
Get him in here. I need to yell at him.
He's only 14, but he still acts like a baby.
I'll make him cry real quick. Hold on.
Oh my god, that is such like a funny thing for you to say, because him and Cosmic always had like that vibe. Like Cosmic's like, I know you love me. And he's like, oh no, I hate you. I miss her so much. I have not seen her in like 2 years.
Man.
I think making a trip, well, maybe not 2 years, but almost a year. Like, we were so close. And then she left me. I think making a New York trip sounds pretty decent.
Yeah. She's the Battle Club Icons champion. So you gotta, come watch her defend it.
I mean, not just her, but you as well.
I mean, listen, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And if it's me and her in the same ring, you make sure you boo me.
Yeah. Yeah.
We boo me.
Okay, I'll boo you. I mean, even if I booed Cosmic and you, Cosmic would look at me and be like, girl, you have not.
Yeah, legit. She would stop and be like, what?
Like, what did I do? So if WWE and AEW called you at the exact same time, offered you a spot, which one would you take?
I do AEW on the weekends. No. That's a tough question. So, the inner, 8-year-old in me watching WWF would say obviously WWE, but the actual answer would be whoever offers me the best quality of life and money, which could be roped into that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it would probably be WWE, because I mean that's the
dream.
That's the dream, right? That's yes. And listen, even if I got released, AEW will take me. Listen, I'll have both. I'll have both.
Yeah, if you can't have the one, go for the other.
Right. Listen.
So in your career so far, have you had any injuries or anything severe?
Nothing severe. I've gotten a lot of really like gnarly black and blues and bruises and stuff. But nothing crazy. Knock on all of the wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing. I'm sure, down the road something will happen.
I mean, it happens to the best of them.
I know. Listen, you hear about a lot of like the NXT and WWE guys, a lot are on the injured list, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what are y'all doing? Stop.
No. Like, don't do that. Like, and I feel so bad asking that on here because I'm like, watch, I'm gonna end up jinxing them, and then they're gonna get injured. I'll be like, it's my fault. I'm sorry.
No, it's a good question. I mean, it happens to, I don't want to say everybody, but the good majority of people, because you see what, we're all doing. We're insane.
No. Yeah.
So eventually, there's some wear and tear.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, that's my thing. When people say wrestling's fake, I'm like, okay, it may be fake, but not what they do. That is not fake. I could go on a rant about
that.
Like, you're not the one doing the moves. Like, if it's so fake, go in there and do exactly what they're doing. It's not going to be easy.
I know. I love that. I love that response, though. It's like, you come in here and do it then. It's fake, right? We're acting.
Exactly. I swear, like, I do that sometimes at the shows. Like, I'll hear someone say something, and I turn, I'm like, what did you just say?
She does a 360.
No, I'm not even kidding. There's a promotion out here like I grew up with, but it's okay. But their name is PPW, and like Rembrandt obviously wrestles there. And,
yeah.
I've seen him wrestle a lot, and like there was this one show I was sitting front row because that was my thing, and like these people behind me started like booing Rembrandt and Cosmic. I'm like, excuse you. They're like, what? I'm like, don't even. I don't know who you are. Don't do it.
You're like, I run this place, and I don't know what you're doing right now.
Exactly. I've been here for long. Don't even test me.
Yeah, no. I own this place. I don't know who you are.
Exactly. So my dad says people in the, I think he means wrestling, not restaurant, but industry don't understand that. Even though you might make a big pay, I guess you still have to pay for your own transportation and hotels.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that, we foot the bill for transportation, hotels, it's like gas toll. We pay for our gear, which isn't, a small fee either. It's definitely, it's an expensive journey, but it's worth it.
Yeah, at the end of it.
It definitely, yeah.
Anthony Blackwell says Impact is the best for women's wrestling.
That I am 100% in agreement. Yes. Yeah, they have like the best women's division.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than like WWE, AEW, is there like a dream venue that you want to wrestle in? If I could speak English.
Venue? I don't know. My huge goal is Japan. I would just love. That's above all else. I think Japan is the huge goal. So anywhere in Japan.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, have you wrestled anywhere and that you were like, okay, I really like this place and I will wrestle here anytime I get the opportunity to?
North Carolina was fun. They're a fun crowd. So I'll say North Carolina. No specific venue yet, but yeah, North Carolina was probably the most fun.
Yeah, and I think that's another cool thing about wrestling is like since there's wrestling everywhere, there's so many different companies. When I went on a girls trip with my mom and my friend and her mom, when we went to go see my brother wrestle, we went into like Connecticut and Rhode Island. I was like, this is intense. And like, I'm loud at these shows, but I don't know if I can take this type of crowd.
I know some of the crowds get, where was I? Boston. I was in Boston a few weekends ago, and it was like a brewery, and the crowd was just so loud the entire time, from the moment like I walked out till we, walked out to the back. They're just loud and just so into it. That was awesome. So I definitely want to wrestle there again. That was...
No, I think it was in freaking Connecticut. There was little kids flipping off the wrestlers. I was like, oh my God, if I was
Those are the babies we yell at.
Exactly. Like if my mom seen me, I was like 4 years old flipping off a wrestler. I don't care fake or not. I'd be grounded for until I'm 16.
My butt would have been whooped.
You won't see me for a while.
Right, exactly.
No, yeah. Also up here, supposedly, I guess they throw tampons at wrestlers too. There was that. It was a whole thing one point, and then there was a fans bring a weapon and not child appropriate item. You know what I mean? They brought it. I was like, hey, okay, you gotta do what you gotta do, but to wrestling?
Listen, live your life, but oh my God.
I know, like that's the reaction I had. I'm like, there's little kids right next to them. They're gonna be like, Mommy, what's that? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I've never seen that before in my entire life.
You could go up to them and ask them since they brought it.
Oh my God. Yes, some of the crowds, I love when they get into it. It's just so much more fun than people just, sitting there. We've had people just sitting there with their arms crossed, like no facial expression. I'm like, why did you come? Like, you don't look like you're having fun. What? And then we pick on you.
Oh my God. I am definitely that person because at PPW's last show last month, it was like 1,000 degrees. I'm not even kidding. But I was that one person in that crowd, like screaming. Everyone's looking at me like, girl, we get it, but it's hot. I'm like,
I know.
I don't know where it's coming from. It's just coming out.
Yeah,
just happens.
It just brings out the best in everybody.
Right? Exactly.
Love it.
Anthony Blackwell goes and says brewery shows are the best. Beer helps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, 100%. I had never wrestled there before, and someone came up to me and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna love wrestling here." And I was like, "Oh, like any particular reason why?" And they're like, "Oh, well, they'll cheer and scream for any and everything. So they're just drinking and they're having a good time." And I'm like, I just want to wrestle here every weekend.
Right? And I think those are the best shows, like when there's drunk people, they keep spending their money.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. It's so much easier to sell merch. So
100%. Like at PPW, they have a bar. They have like so many food venues. I'm like, okay.
Perfect. Yes.
So Anthony Blackwell goes and says, worst kids in a crowd I've ever seen was Jersey. Cursing, spitting, throwing stuff in the ring, pulling hair, and hitting. Oh my God. I would cry.
Not hitting talent. Oh no.
Like, I get it when like the wrestler's holding another wrestler and telling them to, but don't just...
Right. Some people just let their kids just do whatever they want.
Oh my God. It's such a pet peeve.
Oh my God. Get your kids under control.
Put them on a leash if you have to.
Honestly. Oh my. The retractable ones. Just, oh my God.
Exactly.
Why we scream at children.
And then he also says commentary is way more fun with a couple beers.
Oh, I'm sure.
I would say that's another thing. Never put me on commentary if I get involved.
Why?
Because I had a wrestling birthday party because that just fits my personality.
Yes.
Right. And so for 2 of the matches, I was able to like, it was like a pre-show one, but it still meant the world to me. And I did commentary and like, it was like the one commentary guy and then like me and 3 other friends. And we were just talking about the wrestler's hair. We weren't paying attention. We were like, well, he's really cute and his hair looks like ramen noodles. And the other was like, he looks like Cheetos. I was like, oh, okay. And then like the guy literally looked at us and like, this is wrestling, not like whose hair is what.
But I mean, it's part of it.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, yes, you should do commentary. Yes.
It'd be hilarious.
100%. Managing and commentary. There we go.
Maybe.
Found it.
So my dad asks, would you ever wrestle hardcore, or have you already?
Like death matches? Is
Yeah.
that what that means?
We'll do like, yeah.
So I've done like the street matches with like garbage cans, and my boyfriend put me through a door by accident.
Oh.
Like I've done those things, but I don't know how I feel about the whole like the pizza cutter and the glass and the light tubes. I don't know if that's my thing. I'm sure I will one day have one just to say that I did it, but I don't know how a lot of those people, they do it all the time. And I'm like, I'm like, as soon as I see you go on thumbtacks, I'm like, oh my God, like why? But
No,
that's another art form that it's just like, I'll watch it and like watch like this, but I don't know. I think once I just see thumbtacks being just sprinkled in the ring, no.
Yeah, like
I'll be like, I'm good.
No, yeah, like that's what I do. Like BPW out here, they do those type of matches, like street fight, and I'm like, hey, you can do that, but like, do not come by me. And like, there was a time, there's a wrestler, his name's Vinnie Mac and Sean Maluda. They were having their street fight, and almost killed me. I was like, guys, I'm right here. Don't kill me. I'm too young to die. I'm just here. I was like, I get you guys want to fight it all, but don't kill me in the process.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I like the street fight things and things like that, you know, steel chairs and stuff, but light tubes and pizza cutters and thumbtacks, like you got to convince me real hard.
Yeah, like you can do that, but I don't want to.
Yeah, no. I'll sit this one out.
Yeah, like I'll go in any other match, that's fine.
Yeah. I'll do commentary for those matches.
So my dad says one of the wrestlers was Action Andretti, who's now in AEW. Like, the Indies guy,
Yeah, he wrestled for CZW a whole bunch. So yeah.
Like that's something that I would say to like kids and just be like, get pictures, because I've never gotten a picture with Action Andretti, and now like God knows what he's doing. I'm like, I'll never get a picture now.
Hey, you never know, because a lot of those guys pop up like every now and then, you know, they'll be at random shows here and there. But yeah, that's a good piece of advice. Like, go take pictures, because you never know whose face you're gonna see on TV next. You never know. So
no, literally, like if I'd say like if you were Rembrandt or Cosmic and I got a picture with any of you guys and you guys went on like WWE, I'd be like, oh my God,
yeah,
I know them.
Like, I know them.
They know me too.
Yes, yeah. Be like, I'll pick up the phone, call them right now. You don't know.
Yeah, right. They'd be like, are you sure? Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, no problem. It's fine. Yes, that's a good piece of advice. Take the picture.
Exactly. So Anthony, well, okay, I gotta say he has his own podcast and it's ABJ. So I always have that tendency to call him that. But Anthony says their skin is destroyed and never heals, and they do it every weekend.
Oh yeah, Kira's back. Yeah, that's why I say it's a completely different art than just, you know, regular pro wrestling. It's a completely different mindset, another world. You gotta love death matches, and some people do. I'm good. I'm all right.
Yeah. Like there's this wrestler, his name's Tarzan Duran. I'm like, go for it. He's doing them like all the time. I'm like, go for it. But if you are bleeding, don't come by me, because that's a pet peeve. Don't do it.
I don't need blood all over me. Like,
right? Like, you're cool. I like you, but
right. Like, I'm not wearing a poncho to catch the blood. No, we're good.
Right? Exactly.
No.
But yeah, so how do you feel about intergender wrestling, male versus female?
I support it. I've been in many intergender matches. But I do understand the other side of it. For me, I'm tall and bigger, so it makes sense for me a lot of the times to be in an intergender match. But I know a lot of females that they're like, no, like intergender wrestling's not for me. It doesn't, and it's not just because of, like whether it's a man like hitting a woman or anything like that. It just doesn't make sense psychologically. Which I 100% I understand. But I get both sides, but I'm all for it. I support it. Yeah.
No, yeah. Like I think if there's a storyline and it fits, go
Yeah.
for it. Don't just have them fighting for no reason.
Right. Yeah. It has to make sense. So.
Exactly. So is there anything specific that you do before you come out the curtain and do your thing?
Try not to pee my pants. It's so strange. It always right before my music hits, I'm like, I have to pee. Oh, well, I'm going out now. Like, no, I get really quiet and I just kind of get my head in the zone kind of deal.
No,
yeah.
I get that. Earlier this year, I did a show with my friend at that time, and like we were doing like basically kind of like ring announcing and interviews and stuff. And I was like, it was both of our first ever shows. And like when I did it, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna pee my pants.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so like, you're weird. Fine. I'm like, I'm not gonna be fine. Like if I pee my pants in the ring, they're gonna see it.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people. It's just like the nerves and the anticipation of, walking out there. And it's a frightening thing because, I mean, I don't know about you, but stage fright is very real for me. So I am envious of people who can just like go out there, or even like go on a stage and just talk and like they don't care. I'm like, oh no. Like
that's not gonna happen.
No, I'm not the one. So yeah, I just try to get my head in the game, and I'm like, we could do this. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, like just tell yourself, even though
just pump yourself up.
Yeah. So do you find yourself like with that being said, do you find yourself being a self-critic? Like if you watch your matches back, be like, I did that? Why did I do that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think we're all like our own worst critics a lot of the times. And anytime I watch a match back or a promo, anything like that, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, number one, I'm like, I look like that. I walk like that. Like, oh my goodness. And it's just, you over critique yourself to the point where it's almost like you hate watching it. But I mean, we all watch it till we hate it. And, we all criticize it, but that's good because we take what we did wrong and try to fix it.
No, yeah. Like I'm the same way, like on the podcast, I'll watch it back. I'm like, oh, I sound like that? Like,
oh my God.
That doesn't even sound
I'm
like
just like, that's my voice. Like,
right? Like,
oh my God. Gosh, no.
And like gotta change it to be like, that's not how I sound.
And I'm like, it's much deeper. Yes, 100% agree.
So do you think it's going to be an age thing, a mindset thing, or an injury thing that causes you to retire?
It'll probably be an age thing, but my whole thing is I wouldn't want to leave wrestling, so it's like when the day comes where I can no longer be in the ring, I'd want to still be a part of it, whether it's commentary or being a coach or a trainer, anything like that. Yeah. So I'd still want to be in it, even if I can't, be hitting people.
I mean, even at that point, you could probably still hit people.
That's true.
Just saying.
I'll still be able to do some hitting.
I mean, that's like me. I'm not a wrestler, but I get to hit my brother all day, so it's like, it works.
Listen,
I'm training without training.
You're getting free experience.
Exactly. Like, he's a boy. He can take it.
Exactly. And you're just his sister. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yes.
So do you have merch? And if so, where can people purchase it at?
I do have merch. I sell a lot of stickers and t-shirts at shows. I also have a website. It's teespring.com/Sammi Chaos, but I have a whole link tree that people can find in my Instagram. So yes,
So
which
do you have?
is
Yeah.
so I'm really trying to stop saying Twitter. So you can find me on X and Instagram at Real Sammi Chaos. It's the same handle. So find
Alrighty.
me, stalk me.
That was such a yo. I'm
I
just gonna say
know.
that Cosmic is like a bad bitch with that. Like when she puts
Mhm.
those anonymous question things, people, I'm like, what are
I know.
they
I'm
thinking
like,
to say that? I'm like,
people are very strange.
especially in wrestling.
Yes. It's a very special kind of crowd. Yeah.
Interesting.
And people, I'm noticing just people behind a keyboard just will do and say whatever they feel. So yeah. Yeah, very, very special.
And lastly, do you have any upcoming shows you'll be at or
I
wrestling?
do. Tomorrow I'll be in Maine. So you're gonna be there, right?
I wish.
I'll be in Maine tomorrow. In September, I have shows. So September 8th, I'll be in the Bronx. I'm really trying to make it into Pennsylvania. I don't think I've had a show in Pennsylvania yet. So I'm trying to make it out there.
Yeah, we gotta
But
get
you have to come to New York.
Yeah, you tell my dad because he's watching.
Hey, Dad. Dad.
Be like, get your ass to the show.
Honestly. And boo me.
Exactly. Maybe I could pull some strings and get you on like BPW or some Pennsylvania show. Be like, so there's this girl.
You run the Pennsylvania scene. So we know you. We have a way in.
Exactly. So thank you so much for coming on. It was definitely
Thank you
fun.
for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you. So guys, please make sure you're clicking her Instagram down below, because then just give her a follow, follow me, subscribe, do your thing.
Follow both of us. Absolutely.
And I will be back in literally like an hour. So stay tuned and you guys have a great night. Bye.